Hi, this is Sarah Klopaki-Cords here with Casino Enterprise Management. We are at CasinoFest 8 on the expo floor, and right now I'm speaking with Andrew Cardno, Chief Technology Officer at BIS². We're going to learn a little bit about what BIS² is all about, so maybe first, thanks for doing this video with us. We appreciate it.
Well, thank you, Sarah. It's great to be here today. We're having a great time.
Good. It's great. We're really looking forward to the events getting rolling, and wondering for people who are watching who maybe didn't make it to CasinoFest or they need a little reminder, what is your company all about? What do you guys specialize in?
What we're about is making the really complex, dynamic gaming world that's overloaded with data simple, easy to understand, and visual. And what we've found with what is a really rapidly growing customer base is there's a lot of opportunity for improvement. Sometimes there's small little things like maybe just changing the glass in a slot machine that can make you $50,000. Sometimes they're really big things like I missed a group of my customers that were changing their churn patterns and changing the way they behave, largely because of maybe a change in seasonality that was unexpected. But in all cases, our job is to make that easy to see, easy to act on through the use of our super graphic technology.
And so what are some of the things when people come up to the booth today that you tell them about, or some of the services that you want people to know about?
Well, we really only have one product. It's called GameViz. And the strength of GameViz is its interoperability. So we can go into almost any operator, provided they have some kind of database, and just install and adapt directly to that database. And what that means for them is that we can give them these super graphics in hours and days, not weeks and months that a traditional kind of business intelligence company would sort of talk about, right? Okay. So we specialize in fast. In fact, in only one case have we not delivered our first super graphic on the first day of the installation. Oh. And we did that on this morning of the second day. So that's only one case. So we specialize in fast, and that's what we do with what is our exciting, growing group of customers, which I'm very pleased about. Yeah. This is a very short 30-second introduction into what we can do with our super graphics. Firstly, I'll say this is a web-based application. The server is running in Dallas, and just to give you an idea of, again, the speed that we can deliver things at, there is literally no installation. You just open up a web page. What we're looking at here are little cones, heat map cones surrounding and in front of each of the slot machines. And the important thing about them is you can see, for example, over here there's a lot of orange indicating it's kind of a hot spot. But you can also see the little exceptions. So you can see the overview and the detail simultaneously. And that's one of the great challenges of a super graphic. We need to be able to see all 2,500 slot machines and the value of any single particular slot machine. So if I zoom in this area over here, and we'll wait for it to refresh, but you can see that there's more orange here than there is here. That means that this is much larger than that. You can see this one is a lot more orange, and you won't see it so well in the video, but if you compare these three, you could see that this is the largest. Now, you could also see, if you looked a little bit more carefully, that these two are almost exactly the same, but that one is a little bit bigger. Now, here we're comparing about 2%. Here we're comparing about 30%. Here we're comparing about 40% or so. So the important thing about the super graphic is that we can do that as we look at it like this, which gives us a very precise way to see both the overview of the hotspots of the floor and the little exceptions. Like in here, you'd say, well, why is that slot on that corner not doing very well in an area that it should be? Is it the right product mix or the right something else? So the next thing we would do is we would bring up our mix analyzer. If I can select an area of the floor, and I'll just rearrange this so we're looking at the same metric. The mix analyzer is designed to let you answer some of the questions about what kinds of games in there are really working, right? What we have is a hierarchy, and the hierarchy in this case is by manufacturer, by assigned denomination, which remains quite a useful analytical thing despite all the multi-denom options and everything else. A penny game seems to remain a penny game from an analytical perspective. But if you look at the yellow boxes, they're the machines that I've selected on the floor over here. So the yellow boxes are the selected machines. So the goal here is to look at this and say, gosh, the 10-cent WMS product works really, really well. Some of the penny Aristocrat works really well. There's a little bit of a dollar product over here with WMS, which is not so good. And you can see these lower end products in here, the smaller boxes representing not such high performing Aristocrat product. Now these, just so you understand, this is not real data, right? But yeah, it's an example. It's completely fictitious data. But what I would say, if this were real data, is, gosh, maybe we need to consider having some more 10-cent WMS product in there. And I would then ask the question, or drill down and say, what kind of Aristocrat printing product works so well in that area? Maybe I need to switch some games around. And that switching games around is one of the things that we really drive. Some of our customers go from doing 50% of their floor a year in changes to 200% of their floor a year in changes. Just moving things, looking at what's happening, because we're driving this kind of insight. We have other capabilities, like we have a graphing tool that we can bring up. We can look at a graph series, and we can do drill down analysis and other things, and we can select also the customers that played on those slot machines and then say, where do they come from? And do deeper kind of analysis, and even generate a mailing list for them.
Definitely. You're also speaking here at the event on a handful of different panels and presentations. I'm wondering if you want to tell us a little bit more about one. It was about the 3 big analytical questions. So maybe you want to give us a peek at what the questions are?
Yeah, okay. Well, in gaming, the whole world of data has become just huge, big math problem, right? And we have 3 big questions that I'm really going to show people how to tackle, and some ideas and approaches to how to tackle. And the first one is free play. Free play is one of the most controversial pieces of marketing tools. It's incredibly powerful, it works, but the questions always are, am I giving too much? Is my competition giving more than me? Or am I giving too little? And am I giving them to the right group of people? And in the first session, I'll be tackling how to address that, how to look at the amount of free play that you're giving, and then whether you should be increasing or decreasing or changing, and getting a feel for it. And it's a really important question, and it is real money, right? I mean, we're talking casinos spend millions of dollars a month on these free play, per casino, on these free play programs, right? And an adjustment of 10% can be hundreds of thousands of dollars a month, right, in profit. So it's very important to get those right. The second big question is multi-games, right? How do we take a multiple game environment and really understand whether or not it's working, right? Multiple games are new, everyone's bringing them out. What do they do? How do we see the impacts of multiple games?
Okay, so there was a third question, so what's the third question?
Okay, so the third question is one of the most fun questions, is as I purchase a new gaming device or lease a new gaming device, how do I measure whether that device really delivered me incremental revenue? I mean, people say, the operators say all the time, I put this new product out, I don't know whether I've just moved revenue from one place to another, right? And so the session is going to really tackle what is, I think, one of the most difficult problems that we have today. 5 years ago, it didn't matter. 5 years ago, buying a new product was an incredibly good idea. The market was typically undersupplied, and so the decision about to buy a new product was normally a good one. Today, it's a very different decision. Today, we really have to look at it and say, okay, we understand we need to keep our gaming floor fresh, but maybe the return on investment on the product is measured in different ways than it was 5 years ago. That's the third big question that I'm going to be tackling this week.
That's fantastic. Well, thank you so much for doing the video.
Thank you, Sarah.
Really appreciate it.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah, it's great to get to spend some time with you. And remember that you guys can find more videos at CasinoEnterpriseManagement.com.